Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this quick video, I want to come back to something I covered in my last video, which is the curve fly. My assistant Sophia scolded me and said, I think you made it sound easier than it actually is. And what she said is, you made it sound like, here's the setup, easy money, and that's not a professional way to approach this. I apologize, so I'm making this amendment. Okay? The method that I explained is not wrong. The mechanics I showed you are real, the ratios are real, and the signal's real, but I moved fast and I made assumptions that I shouldn't have. So let me explain why this trade is supposed to work, even if you don't trade bonds, because I don't ever want to communicate trading is so easy that a 12-year-old can do it. What I meant is that a 12-year-old could learn it. But let me expand. All right. The strategy of this 5-year trading against relationships plural, in the curve, this single outright is not arbitrary. That's the actual trade, not the curve is doing something, but actual curvature. Let me explain. And this is the part I skipped last time. If you look at how the Treasury curve actually moves historically, there are three big factors that drive it. One is Fed policy, obviously. The other is growth expectations, in this case in the U.S. economy, and of course, inflation expectations. Now, those are macroeconomic factors, and those can trend for a long time, and they should, because they're intended to drive or stabilize economic policy. All right? Curvature is different, right? That's what we're looking at here. Curvature gets pushed around by noise. A treasury auction landing in one specific maturity, maybe the 5-year, maybe the 2-year. Hedging flow from a mortgage desk that happens to cluster around the belly, maybe the 5-year or the 10-year. Or some other guidance that hits the 5-year differently than it is the 2 or the 10-year. Now that kind of pressure is temporary by nature. It does fade, and when it fades, the belly's relationship to the wings tends to snap back into normal. I want to make sure I'm explaining that again. There are macroeconomic forces that govern this yield curve. Then there's curvature. Curvature occurs because of trading, hedging, taking on positions, that snapback, those fluctuations inside the bigger picture. That's where the edge is. So that's the actual real nameable reason this trade should work over time. It's an actual mechanism. Some of them will stop out. So that's not the system failing. That's just what risk looks like in real life, doesn't it? So if in the last video I made it sound like turn it on, collect cash, that's on me. And I apologize. The signal is still good because it's based on sound economic principles. And you have it right here on your screen. Again, if you don't trade treasury bonds, that's fine. But the right thing to do was to make this video and explain that this is just like any other trade. You have to be prudent. You have to plan it out. You have to know your risk, your profit objectives. We just know that this is a sound principle that's served us well for quite some time. All right, until then.